Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Eastern Border. We're using a proper microphone now. Well, the one that I used in Ukraine, so I hope this works. And we have another one at home. But well, this is basically 2 days before we go back home from the United States. We're gonna go to the church tomorrow. Our friend Kendra is a fellow Lutheran, just like we are, and we're gonna go to Lutheran service and gonna figure out how it differs. And well, I'll go back to figuring out all the news. I'm also a bit afraid that, knowing my luck, which you're gonna hear about, well, I presume everything important has happened while I'm here, and nothing important is gonna happen for next 2 weeks. However, well, we went to Fort Worth Stockyards. We went to the Houston Zoo. I probably think we mentioned the Houston Zoo last time. Maybe not. Oh, we'll talk about it very shortly, anyways. And we also went to the Six Flags over Texas, that is, and we saw our very first baseball game. I will have some strong opinions about baseball game and slightly little nudging to all of y'all who are not Rangers fans about the situation. But let's start in order. Y'all probably haven't heard much about Fort Worth is a place where the West started. It's the start of the trail from the stockyards there to up to Kansas and to all the other places in the West, basically. And we saw the Longhorns and ate the side on the cow, and we had a good meal. So, honey, what did you like about the stockyards the most?
It's absolute tourist trap, as we were told to, but I would recommend to see it anyways for tourists and everyone else. I actually really liked it. There are still those Wild Wild West vibes, and the museum was great, right?
Yeah, I saw we saw all the guns and everything. And again, in Europe, we have plaques with stuff that says this and this writer and or poet lived in this building. Over there in Fort Worth is and over there this guy shot 5 other guys. It was just amazing. And I, out of sheer respect, I removed my hat when I was taking pictures with Mr. with the stars. Texas Trail of Fame. Basically, I took out my hat for 3 people: Mr. Colt, Mr. Winchester, and of course Teddy Roosevelt. Best United States president of all time, obviously, at least in my opinion. And that was a fun day. We also managed to see the whole cattle drive, and we got into a happy hour in a nice little restaurant place. I loved it. It was great. The whole vibe was very different. It was really, I guess it's the closest thing that you have here to an actual old town that's out of Boston, because everything oldest is in Boston. Everything biggest is in Texas, I suppose. But it was really great. And then we okay, sure.
I wanted to add that in other big Texan cities like Dallas, Houston, and Austin we visited, people seem to try to get rid of that cowboy vibe, that because it's so stereotypical or something like that. At least one of our friends told us so. But at the stockyards, all this cowboy culture is just embraced, and I love all this stuff. So for me, it was a great change in Texas. This is the place where you feel awkward if you don't wear a cowboy hat.
Well, I was going to say, yeehaw, properly, right? No, that was really great. I like all this history stuff and all those things, because it truly was very historical. What struck me was how huge everything was and how everything was organized. And we saw the wagon from the wagon trains and everything, and it was much bigger than I thought. Then again, I say most things about that here, and we'll get to that. And after that, we went to Six Flags over Texas. I, at the age of 34, being born in the Soviet Union, had my first proper roller coaster ride, and that was weird.
And that was during tornado warning.
Oh yeah, my luck. Like I said, this is tornado season here, as I presume. And knowing me, we went there, and it started to hail. Literally, there was massive rain and a hailstorm. Lasted for about an hour. We saw tornado air alarms, That gave me massive PTSD because of Ukraine, because, hey, if you've heard those tornado alarms here in Texas, then you know exactly how Ukrainian air raid sirens sound like. My first reaction was just, duck and cover, but I, kept myself together. However, as we were filming videos, which I post on Facebook for my Latvian friends and family, just so that they wouldn't ask us too many questions, because we'll be jet lagging when we get back home. Yeah, some just people of the park just came to us and said, "Oh no, go get a shelter now." It was really serious. And wasn't comfortable at all. Meantime, well, we went to one of those themed rides, which is like pirate themed, up until like the middle, because in the middle that thing turned into some sort of space alien dwarf midget, I don't know what thing.
Acid trip.
It was an acid trip of space aliens basically, and it was weird. And then we went as a warm up to a ride that's like an indoors roller coaster.
Yeah, that was some sort of cave or something like that. The mountain ride, maybe. But we were surprised that it's indoors and it's in complete darkness.
Yes, our first roller coaster was like there, and we were like our friend Kendra said, "Whoa!" after the first ride, and then we went on the Texas Giant. Well, I went on other roller coasters after that. Evita skipped everything else after Texas Giant. Because for me it was super fun. For Evita it was fun seeing hummingbirds and going to the zoo and catching lizards. But I swear to God, I will go to rides in other countries that I go to because I love this thing. I have missed out on 34 years of my life, honey. 34 years of my life. But tell them about your experience on the new Texas Giant, the largest wooden roller coaster in the United States. And to those of you who don't know, yeah, we do call them American mountains back home in Latvia.
I found it funny afterwards that Kristaps actually wanted to film this ride on his GoPro camera, but he forgot to take straps, so he could strap it on himself. So he said, well, I will probably just hold it in my hands while we are riding. Nope, that is just not possible. He also tried to pick his arms up like you see in the movies, and so but he realized really fast that that's also not a good idea, so he just pulled them down and cramped in his seat. I didn't scream, not a second, because I clamped my teeth so hard I couldn't make any noise. I was just feeling like those pilots on G-force trainings. I was just cramped in my seat and clenched my teeth and trying to survive. But I am really happy I went to this ride, because you need to ride it at least once in your lifetime.
Well, and to all you all Americans, it's probably nothing new to you, and you're probably laughing your asses off about our silliness, but it was great. It was really great, and I love Six Flags. I also went on the Pandemonium one, and I went on the Batman one, and on Mr. Freeze one. Yeah, that one. Mr. Freeze was really scary because it turns out that I can enjoy the roller coaster rides if they go forward, but if they go backwards, I can't do that. And don't worry, we'll get back to very depressing Ukraine news as soon as we hit Latvia, which is in 2 days. It's just that I really wanted to talk about all this stuff. And then the big thing we did today, which was insane. Also, I have to say, which we didn't mention for Latvian friends, they're going to ask how much it all cost. Yeah, you pay like, what, $60 for a day pass there? I think it was $60.
Yeah, it was 60 and something.
60 and something dollars. And but then, which might surprise you, dear European listeners, you buy a day pass and then all the rides are free.
The only problem is the line. Because of the tornado warning, there were not so many people, but still the lines to those rides that were open, at least. That's the main issue. You will not be able to ride on everything, but it's still a thing we should do, right?
I definitely think so, yeah. But I hope it was 60.
Day pass.
The day pass, yeah. I hope it was $60. Again, thank you, Kendra, for doing this to us. I just spotted the price somewhere in the park. I think it was $60. I hope it. But even if it would be like more, it's still worth it because in Europe, I know, or in different sort of attractions like these, because I've been to super tiny ones, which I don't count, they cost like, what, 5 to 10 euros per ride? And if you include, and we had like free snack pass there as well, which we sadly didn't use because we were standing in line for too much. But if you add all this up, in Europe, these rides would cost much more because you pay per ride, and the day pass idea is just amazing. But then I want to talk about something that your all American friends will love the most. We went to a baseball game. Go Rangers! I had not expected what I saw today. In the sheer sense of the scale of the whole thing. For one, the Dallas Stadium is the size of like a small Latvian city. It's 40,000 people in there. And yeah, you have football stadiums outdoor here in the States with much more capacity. However, this is fully indoors under a roof. And it's dug out. Like, you enter, and the level that you enter in, it's like what, third floor?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like third floor, and everything else below is dug out. And we found it. Yeah, but that's a great idea because it's easier to cool down the stadium, right?
Yeah, it's easier to cool down. Because we also had a tour through this one. First, through a baseball game, and I'm going to throw some shade here. Bostonians, I have been to your city twice, and my first baseball game ever was a Texas Rangers game. If you want me to go and cheer for Red Sox, just saying it out there, because again, my favorite state is Texas, my favorite city is Boston. Yeah, I am now technically a Rangers fan, I suppose, because I was on their game. No, like really, I'm definitely going to take everything to New York and Boston at some point, and Seattle too, because we were invited to go there, but we can't because we have tickets until back to Latvia in 2 days. But of the baseball game, I like how everything's. First of all, we expected the anthem at the beginning, but the thing that's called the seventh inning stretch was different because we didn't know that you all sang "God Bless America" and then that "Take Me Down to the Ball Game." 1, 2, and 3 strikes, you're out. All that kids song as well. This was what happened here, and all the food everywhere. We ate hot dogs and nachos. I didn't know nachos were this filling.
I was surprised by food delivery to your seat, but I have been in the States for almost 2 weeks. I shouldn't be surprised, but yeah, it was still there.
And we liked how a guy had I think it's 21st birthday there, and like all the like seats in the area, they raised up, and everyone just sang happy birthday to this random, I think his name was Travis or something, and he was just chugging down beers, some sort of fraternity thing. It was like really cool, like really, really wholesome and nice fun. By the way, and we saw 2 home runs. Sorry about the disruption here, just that this is my old wire which used to plug out from the microphone. I'm sure it's going to be fine. But yeah, we saw 4 home runs, 2 of the Cincinnati Reds, and at the end, after most people had left, basically Rangers also scored 2, and this is the first time ever when I've seen indoor fireworks. Very tiny fireworks, though. We expected something bigger. However, you have to understand it's indoors. Indoors is just insane. But otherwise, baseball is a cool game because you get to eat, you get to hang out with people, and you know exactly when to watch the field. Because when you hear that clap sound, this smack, then you know like, oh, something cool is going on. Like, but basically the 9th inning was the length of the first 8 innings, because Cincinnati Reds managed to get like their home runs. One of them, well, I was in the bathroom, of course, but the other one was like, I don't know, in the 6th inning. But like. All the 4 points Rangers got was like in the last one. But I understand how this works because, in Latvia, I've made an episode previously about Latvian Song and Dance Festival. Apparently, our new arena for that can hold up to 100,000 people. It's like a weird thing because this, by the way, 100,000 involves both the singers and the audience, I presume. But, yeah, I understood that this whole baseball thing with all the traditions from 1920s, I like how uniforms were old, songs were old, and cold beer, like guys just yelling at you. it really made me feel like, and they had like speakeasy bar also like in the bottom. It all made me feel like I'm not in 2024, like I'm in 1924, and it's a certain charm to it. And as I think, as the United States is a nation of many nationalities, ethnicities, peoples, immigrants, and everything, I feel like sports in general, and especially baseball here. I haven't been to a football game. I might be wrong here. I think Super Bowl is a massive event, but I think this whole thing unites people because I think this is something that y'all do just to feel closer to your fellow man. And I was really, really happy to see all the fireworks and all the friendliness and just the kindness that people showed to each other. And how even, we were given a tour and everything. And even the people, the elevators, all the stuff, like, they were friendly to children. Everyone keeps smiling. And then you sell bizarre things like a margarita from a slushy machine, which is called the frozen Rangerita, which is just silly. Then Evita had a struggle with a hot dog.
Yeah, your hot dogs, they are tasty, but goddamn, what's up with your buns? They just melt in your hands, and but the hot dog was good. Also, we saw the big hot dog packages. I guess it was more than a feet long or something like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Oh, also the dot race. The dot race was crazy. Okay, so for my European friends who haven't seen a game of baseball, we are privileged now to talk about this. In the middle of the game, they have this lotto thing, like a lottery, where you can, if you have previously bought a ticket to red, green, or blue, you can like win money off of this, apparently, or so I was told. And there are like 3 mascots, each dressed like a huge M&Ms or Skittles dot in different colors, and they seem to be completely blind, and they just run. Just run around the stadium thing. It's just amazing. Oh, and also cheerleaders. Massive respect for the cheerleaders. They looked really cute, and it seems like a hard work there. And it looks interesting. And as today they celebrated the first responders day, so the anthem was sung by they brought out some guys in parade uniforms. And it was like great. In total, yeah, I understood that, like, in Europe, if you go to a museum, then you do something else. But over here, I think every activity in the United States, it takes a whole day, basically. So, we're just tired of it. Sorry for the breaks and everything. Like I said, I'll go back to depressing, horrible news very soon. But so far, well, до свидания, товарищи. And thank you for listening, and thanks to the United States of America for taking this in. If you're a Boston Red Sox fan, I really hope that you take us to a ball game next time we go, because, again, favorite state, Texas, favorite city, Boston. New York's also fine, by the way, but I just have a soft spot for Boston, as that was the first place where I entered the States in my first trip here. Everything's nice, and I'm actually, we've been making like these videos in Latvian where we try to explain to our countrymen how United States work with all the states and cultures and everything. We're going to break some stereotypes here. A lot of work ahead of me, but all this experience has made me feel more relaxed, mentally healthy, and just better overall. You guys are inspiring. You have something great, and we might be estranged by your plastic pickles in a plastic bag, which you sell in vending machines apparently, which I find is an affront to anything sane and beautiful in this world. But in all other ways, you're very optimistic and nice, and I think we've enjoyed a lot of things here, which you probably take for granted. You have just experienced them every day in your childhoods, but they're totally new to us, and we loved all of it. We still do, because there's a lot that you guys can learn from us in Europe, and I'll be honest with you, which probably people from Western Europe might not admit, or you can fix that if you just email me with angry comments or something. But I think there's a lot that we can learn from the Americans. And a lot of the stereotypes that people have about the United States, I think they come from the fact that they just, people abroad only view America from Hollywood movies, and they don't understand how much, how much more south you are from most of Europe, and how everything just works here. You're hard workers, y'all, and I really enjoy being in the States. До свидания, товарищи. And remember, happiness is mandatory.